Good morning, everyone. Hey, Truth, you get out of here. Um, Hopefully, you guys are having an amazing weekend. I'm just going to wait for people to tune in. So, a lot of things happening. First of all, Blanca here with Doug, acting governor for California Republic. Um, we are working on a lot of great stuff for the people, the living people on the land. And there has been a lot of questions pouring in. And a lot of, people are confused. People just don't know really what it means. A lot of people are scared, right? A lot of stuff happening. So we've decided we are going to be hopping on, doing more videos. So if you are watching this on a replay, because we will try to put it on other social media platforms, just kind of fast forward until we get to the subject. Today we will be talking about a republic. What does it really mean? A republican form of government that we are guaranteed here in America. And what are the benefits? What does it really mean? There was a great question today, actually, from one of my friends. So we will be touching on that. So I will be just waiting for people kind of to tune in. I know it's Saturday, close to lunch, 11:30 in Southern California here, and we are doing this live. So if you have any questions, you can put it in a chat. If you are watching it on a replay, if you have a question too, put it down. And we are reading the comments. We will be going through, and we want to answer all your concerns. And if you are a troll, go ahead. It's happening anyway. You cannot stop it. It's here. You can continue to live the way you've been living, and that's pretty much it. We still love you. No hard feelings, but the California Republic is now open for business, and I made a post yesterday, and we will be kind of going through that. So maybe Doug, why don't you tell us? Well, I guess let's see. I think we should start with the fact that America is constitutional republic. America is not democracy. America is not oligarchy. America is not anarchy. America is constitutional republic, and today we will be kind of focusing on that. So maybe Doug, do you want to tell us a little bit about what is a republic?
Well, a republic's a form of government where everybody gets a vote. Everybody counts. The minority is just as important as the majority. It doesn't matter. Everybody is all equal. And so you don't have the mob rule that they have in these democracies. The republic is a trust that was set forth by the people, of the people, and for the people. And that trust indenture created a republican form of government, which we were guaranteed. And so, ever since then, I mean, you can read the case Steiner versus Darby, and it'll tell you that, our nation is the only nation that has this government, but this government is the greatest government that was ever created. It's the best government in the world. The only thing is none of us that's alive right now have ever gotten to live underneath that government that's been guaranteed to us because it's been stolen from us.
I find this very fascinating because, a lot of people think that they know what a republic is, but they really don't. Like, how can you know something that you've never experienced? And this is why America is called the greatest experiment ever. So maybe, Doug, why don't we talk a little bit about it? Like, why was America created as a republic? And you said it very, very, very important point that America was not set up as this mob rule what we have going on right now. And kind of to put it into perspective, it's kind of like you have three animals in a barn. You have two wolves and you have a sheep, deciding what's for dinner. Maybe sheep I shouldn't use. You have a goat. You have a goat, and you have two wolves deciding what's for dinner. In democracy, the majority rules. So guess what happens to the goat? The goat doesn't have any rights. But in republic,
You've got a well-armed goat to
right
object
now,
to
the
the
goat
vote.
the goat can protect her rights against the two wolves, right? And now suddenly we have a conversation and we have a discussion and we have fair play. And so I'm not sure about you, but I want to have rights. Like same rights like everyone else, right? Because we are all created equal, I believe. That was even in the founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal. Is that true?
Well, yeah, but see, that's where we screwed up. Was, under the law of nations, we declared our religion and our law in the Declaration of Independence. So that was the invitation to all those who wanted to live by nature's law under nature's God. Okay? And that by that, God gave all of us the same unalienable rights that made us all equal. There's nobody greater than anybody else. We're all men and women, and we're all Americans. And then from whatever state you're from, like I'm a Californian, okay? And so, we're all one big family. And when we allowed these people to come in and classify men and color man, like white men, black men, yellow men, red men, and then go from there to turning you into chattel without your knowledge and consent through semantic deceit, calling you citizens, persons, and residents, knowing that CPR represents what you do to a dead person to bring them back to life. So, they throw it in your face. It's all right there. And we've allowed it to happen, okay? We've been dumbed down. We let the Rockefellers take over the school. And, just, the whole medical stuff. We've been dumbed down. They've been putting stuff in our food and our medicine. And, now it's come to the time where, we have to stand up, okay? See, all the power's in the people. It's not in the government, okay? See, our government was created where the people rose to the rights and titles of the king. The only thing is, the only subject we have to rule are ourselves, okay? That's what self-govern and self-rule is, all right? And it's only when you won't rule yourself within the parameters of a polite society, or you cause harm to someone or their rights or their property, that there's an issue, okay? So, when you talk about living in a republic, okay, in a republic we don't have statutes, okay? We don't have codes, regulations, and all that crap. We don't have to go to somebody, a corporation, and ask permission to build something on our property. We own the land and not some piece of paper with an APN number that stands for Assessor's Parcel Number off a special map that they overlaid over the actual surveyor's map to rip you off from any interest that you have in land. I believe they call it an interest in space only.
Yeah, we have an interesting case with that. But let's keep it on subject, okay? Because
that is a subject.
yes, but
in,
there's
in a
just
republic,
so
in a
much.
republic, you don't. You see people. What you have is a government services corporation posing as your government. All right. Under the Clearfield Doctrine, they're not your government because they stepped down from your government when they started using private money for public services. Okay. So what they did was they inverted everything by allowing a bankruptcy to happen, and they placed you as debtors instead of the creditors. Okay. So that 1879 Constitution. We'll take California for instance. The 1879 Constitution, okay, before that Constitution, or I should say corporate charter took place, we were all the people that lived in California, especially those who owned land, were called free electors, okay? And so the electors that actually owned land had 4 votes to any one of somebody that was passing through, okay? And so, that came under the suffrage. So the bottom line is, we were free, we were electors, we had rights, and then all of a sudden something happened in 1879. What happened? Well, 1871, the United States incorporated. Okay, they hired the Virginia Company, who turned into the United States Inc. to provide us 19 essential services until we could self-govern again. Because we'd gone from 1860, when Lincoln took over, which he was not qualified to be a president, so everything that happened after Lincoln took over was an ultra vires act, and then we hadn't self-governed again after the Civil War by 1871. So they created a governmental services corporation, all right, and allowed the bankers to come in and England to come back in and place us back under servitude, all right, and that's exactly what happened. And California followed suit because in 1878 they reorganized the 1871 District of Columbia Act and placed it in like 4 or 5 different acts. And then in 1879 they forced California to change its constitution to where it became a corporate charter without telling you. They changed you into 14th Amendment citizens and registered voters. So that made you into the chattel and assets of the corporation instead of owners and principals of it.
And this is very important because can you imagine that this was actually taught in school? That you know what happened, that we actually do not, people believe that we have a real government, that like this is people you actually vote for, you elect, and that they are serving the people. But it's exactly the opposite. This is actually, and they are becoming employees of a corporation, right? So you have all these people who are telling you, oh, vote for me, right? You have people campaigning out there, putting their signs on people's yards and doing rallies and doing big talks, and they are promising you all these freedoms and low taxes and all this stuff. Just give me your vote, right? But what they are doing is they just want your support so they can join the corporation. Once they get into the corporation, they are not serving you. They are serving the corporate interest, okay? And they are forcing you into involuntary servitude through the codes, statutes, regulations.
Look, what happened was, okay, if there's a video out there of where we swore in. If you listen to the justice, she explains what happened because they revenued, okay? They revenued us when they did the 1879 and the 1871 constitutions, okay? They placed us into another trust, and when they create a trust, they get to create the law of that trust. Now, the trust looked the same as the other trust, except it was populated by U.S. citizens, which are chattel. Okay, so you now became the res of the trust or the property of the trust. All right, instead of one of the beneficiaries of that trust. Okay, the original trust, you're a beneficiary. Okay, everything operates for the benefit of the people. All powers in the people. So when you became a person, all right, or you took the office of person, because all of these are offices that was created by that state of California corporation and county of corporation and city of corporation. So when you took these offices as citizen, person, and resident, you lost your inalienable rights because you're no longer a man or a woman created by God. So they don't have to worry about your unalienable rights, and you've entered into all kinds of adhesion contracts with this corporation, and they utilize that and the 1879 Constitution as their scope of authority to create these statutes, regulations, and codes, apply them to you, and then enforce them upon you, okay? So what happens is, you know, you haven't been taught any of this, all right? You've been dumbed down and you've been programmed, and I do mean programmed. That everything that you do is a part of like MK Ultra mind control, okay? Including all the crap that they create out there on the news to keep your ups and downs, and they program this into you at certain frequencies.
And controlled by fear.
So now what they've done is they've got you programmed into believing that they're a government when they're nothing more than a corporation. They have you believing that you have to file taxes when that's voluntary and it says so in their codes. Okay, and I mean we can go on down the line. They don't have a right to directly tax you. Okay.
Unless you waive your right and you submit to their policies.
No, or unless you come under their trust. Okay, see, they're a corporation. Let's take this for example. They're a corporation. You're a man or a woman. All right? So go to the legislative section in the 1849 Constitution for those of you in California. Okay? And I want you to look in there, and I want you to point out the spot where anybody delegated the power or authority of the legislature to legislate over the people themselves. Okay? We call these people lawmakers. They don't make any law. They make corporate policy, and I don't work for the corporation any more than I work for McDonald's. It does not apply to me. Okay? So if you know who you are and you stand up and you can defend who you are when these policy enforcers and these corporate mercenaries come after you, and should they continue to push their stuff, well, there's a reciprocal lien right that you can levy against them and take their personal property from them.
Okay, and so very important thing is how do we define, when you are actually under the wrong trust, when you are under wrong jurisdiction, it's actually very simple. Whenever someone is calling you a person, resident, taxpayer, or citizen, that's when you know. And so if you look into all the correspondence, look for these terms. This is how they are defining you under what Doug just mentioned.
No, they're defining you by an all capital letter name.
And that too.
Okay? That all capital letter name is a trust that was set up where they're the beneficiaries. Okay? And see, everything that you do in your life right now is commercial.
Yeah.
All right? And that all capital letter name, you're held as a surety to that entity. And it's all done under the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code. That's the top law of the land right now, okay, because it's a banker's law, all right? And they utilize that to be able to take our stuff without even having to go to a court, non-judicial foreclosures, the whole 9 yards. And they never expected us to learn. But if you get into Article 9, you can have a whole lot of fun with these people.
Because
okay?
You can apply the same thing
because
on them.
Yeah, the law speaks with one mouth. Okay, it doesn't care who it's speaking to. Okay, so and it's administrative law, so it's ministerial duties of these administrative tribunals. They have no discretion except to how it applies maybe once in a while.
Okay, so now let's go back because a lot of people been very kind of confused. Okay, what happened on August 22nd at 2 o'clock when Doug took the office, the vacant seat. Talk a little bit about that. What happened?
Okay, look, I've been studying this stuff for a long time, okay, and I found out a long time ago there's two governments, all right. One of them is a government services corporation that's gotten out of control. That's the state of California, Inc. It's got an EIN number and a DUNS number, okay, and all of the counties underneath it are franchises of that corporation, okay? And so, they come in and they're selling us governmental services at the point of the gun because we don't know any better, all right? And what happened was in 1879, they created a corporation with the same name, the state of California, but it changed the nature of the assets of that corporation, or it changed the status and standing and character of the people without their knowledge and consent, okay, through semantic deceit, and they changed them into other than people. Now they were enslaved, okay, and put into involuntary servitude, okay, as chattel for this corporation. And they were tricked into voting in these corporate elections, okay? So by that, they considered that tacit agreement. Hey, you voted for them, so now you're under them, okay? But nobody ever told this stuff to the people. Well, that was an ultra vires act, all right? But not only that, it was repealed by ballot pamphlet number 12 in the 1960 election cycle, November 8th, 1960, and there's records of it at the Secretary of State's office. We've got the records, and there's also records in the Los Angeles court, because the Church of Scientology was awarded a $190 million judgment based on the fact that the 1849 Constitution was not a constitution; it was repealed. Okay.
It's basically the way how guys to look at it. It's a corporate charter. Okay?
Yeah. So
they make it look like a constitution for the state, but it's for the state of California in all capital letters which is a corporation. It's a franchise of the District of Columbia.
Yeah, but still, it's okay. Look, what happened was not only being the Ultra Vires Act, but you've got what's called the scope of authority. Okay, so it's what like the the sheriffs, the police, all these people, these county offices, Newsom, his office, Lieutenant, all the offices right now, they were all created by the 1879 Constitution. Okay? They're all corporate in nature. You can look up the EIN numbers. You can check.
Dan and Broad Street.
Okay, so they didn't tell you that, all right? But when there's different jurisdictions, and our jurisdictions come from the Bible. This is one nation under God, land, air, water. That's what law is, an anagram for land, air, or water. Man was given dominion over all of those, okay? And so that's where the three jurisdictions come from, okay? Now, I'm not going to get too much into that or what have you, but land is where our first organic constitution from 1849 placed us in a republic, okay, under that jurisdiction. When they created the corporate charter and they made you into chattel and 14th Amendment U.S. citizens, they changed you into admiralty law. That's a whole nother jurisdiction. And they've kept you there ever since. That's where commercial law is. That's where administrative law is. That's where maritime law is. That's where the admiralty law is, okay? And that was all given to England. That's why you have the Bar Association and all that crap there, okay? So they tricked us into that and they replaced it. But all of the original offices to the 1849 California Trust was laying there and have been laying there abandoned, just like abandoned property. Okay, those offices are the property of the people.
So these offices are there, have been there, but no one was in there. Okay, so this is how you need to look at it. Like these offices have been there, but they have not been occupied.
And that government hasn't been operating, and we haven't been the beneficiaries of the other trust. Okay, they've tricked us into being trustees, and placed themselves as beneficiaries, and that can be researched too. But
this is why people get so railroaded in courts.
Well, no, it's,
and by the attorneys.
Yeah, it's not. They're not courts. They're banks.
Right.
But look, here's the deal. Everybody's all confused, and they think, well, hey, we didn't vote for you. No, you didn't vote for me. I didn't ask you to vote for me. Now I went around and I tried to explain that our original government's laying there, abandoned and vacant, and so nobody wanted to step up. Okay, nobody. All right, you got all these assemblies and all these people talking all this shit.
Movements and patriots and everyone
but
has
that's
a
all
platform,
they're doing
and that's all they are doing, just talking
okay?
about the problems, right?
Okay, so I tried to show them the solution, the only lawful solution that's nonviolent, where we can take back what's ours, what's owed to us, okay, lawfully, through the international community and through the national community, okay? And nobody wanted to do this, okay? So it's getting down to the, 5 minutes to midnight, people, And so what I did was I stood up and did it. I corrected my status, standing in character, so that I could occupy this office and hold it and operate it in trust for the benefit of all of you guys, okay? Not me, all of you guys.
Okay? Until we can
have lawful
elections. Okay? So and this is so critical for all of you out there to really comprehend and fully understand. So we do not have a true government of we the people, right? We have this corporation pretending like it's your government. They are forcing you into all these adhesion contracts under duress, at the force of gun, right? Everyone is living in a fear, and everyone is talking about it, right? All the problems and how they are muzzling the children and how they are forcing these injections and how people cannot travel and all that, right? Everyone is talking about it, right? But no one is doing anything about it, while we have the constitutional republic sitting there. All these offices are there, but no one is inside of these offices. Okay, so this is how you need to really start seeing it. That Doug did the research and did filed all the paperwork and studied some 20 years. Okay, and he was talking to people. People, this is what we need to do. We need to occupy these offices. Let's stop talking about these problems. Let's go into the office and turn the light on, okay, and take back the power of we the people. That's all we have to do, right? While everyone continues to look at the corporation, barking at the corporation, pledging and pleading with the corporation, right? Please, 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 we don't want to wear muzzles. Please, 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 do not force these injections on us. Please, please, please. People, the power is with you. Okay, and this is what Doug did. In the benefit of all of you out there, okay, and he's holding that position until we, the people, can freaking wake up, realize that it's 5 to midnight because these communists are here. Let me tell you, I know communism. I lived in it. I was born into it. I'm trained in communism, and you would not like it, okay? And so what he decided, because it's 5 to midnight, that he is going to grab the office. He is going to be sworn into the office, okay? He's going to get the California Republic back open for business and invite anyone out there who is interested to participate, okay, and to reap the benefits of the republic, which I would like to also discuss. What does it really mean? Why, you, I think you would like to live in republic, although we don't know what it really is because we've never experienced it, right? So there are so many freedoms that we are not even aware that we lost because of the brainwashing and the indoctrination and all the fear mongering. But let me tell you, I lived in communism, okay? And in communism, it's the mob rule. It's you cannot own anything. Everything is controlled by the government, and we experienced it through this pandemic, okay? And it's actually a blessing because it woke a lot of people up. But now it's action time. No more all this blah, 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 okay? We need to start standing up. So Doug, maybe now we talk a little bit about, okay, so Doug took that seat of the governor of the California Republic.
I'm acting governor for California State, the Judicial Republic, okay?
On behalf of the people.
On behalf of the people. And what I did was we got an Article 3 judge to swear us in. And I'm going to hold this office, but I'm going to operate it for our benefit, for the people's benefit, okay? And I'm working on a court warrant right now to ask by what authority this other government is operating, because the 1879 Constitution's been repealed since November 8th, 1960, and it's a matter of public record. Yet if you go on their website, they're still using it as their scope of authority to do this to you people.
Okay, this is very important. So why don't you touch on that? So we have the organic 1849 Constitution, right? And you can actually prove the chain, right? That
no, they have to prove the chain. That's what the court warrant is. They have to prove a chain of delegated constitutional power to legislate over the people as it affects me. Okay, unbroken. Unbroken from the time it was the monument was created in 1849. Okay, and they can't do that because the 1879 Constitution broke that line of delegated authority. The people never ratified that. It was only ratified by chattel. Okay, they weren't people; they were citizens, persons, and residents. So that's all it applied to. Okay, but nobody told anybody this stuff. All right, and you guys don't have the time to sit down and research all of it. Okay, I mean, you can go look at what I brought up today and find that pretty easy. But to sit down, I mean, I've been doing this for 20-something years. Okay, and so, I tried to let people benefit from my knowledge and show them how to do it, because really I didn't want to do this. All right, I did.
And it's the same thing for me, like we didn't, you see, there's a difference between what we are doing versus what these so-called politicians are doing, okay? They are doing it for self-enrichment, for control, for power, right? Because look at it, look what has happened. We did it because it's not only our right,
It's
but
our
it's
duty.
our duty as Americans, because we are guaranteed Republican form of government where everyone is equal and has equal rights, okay? And we delegate limited authority to our public servants to serve us, not to rule over us,
We don't have
to
it.
extort us.
We don't have any rulers. We're the only country that doesn't have kings, queens, or rulers over us. Okay? We have public servants, people to serve us. All right? And we forgot that, and so did our servants. All right? Well, now the other government is up and running. Okay? That's my duty to do this. All right? And so I did it. And
Okay.
so we have a right, okay, now to make a choice, people. What kind of government do you want to live under? All right, the republic's up and running. We're going to try to set up a website so that all this bullshit about all of these, hey, you got to go here to correct your record, you got to do this, you got, no. What we're going to do is we're going to put up a website, and if you want to come into the republic, you're just going to join for whatever county in California you live in, you're going to join that jural society, okay, with the jural covenant, meaning that you'll participate if you're called for a jury member, or you'll participate in whatever you can do to help the republic step up.
And yesterday I just highlighted some of the benefits of living in republic. You see, when you live in republic, one of the important part is that you have access to Article 3 Constitutional Court. Maybe Doc explain what that means, right?
Well, our justice comes from a jury of our peers, okay? So that's why you would sign the jural covenant and become part of the jural society, because that would make you eligible to sit in on a jury. And what happens is we have our court. So let's say that you're somebody from one of the people, okay, in the republic, and somebody from this corporation charges you with something. Well, what you would do is you would file a removal, because that court has no jurisdiction over you. So you would remove it into our court, the Justice of the Peace Court, Article 3 Court, and the sheriff would go out and summon 12 plus 2 jurors, and the clerk would swear them in, and the judge would open the court, and then the jury would hear the evidence and then decide. And then that decision can't be reviewed, not even by the United States Supreme Court, unless by common law. So, you know, it will curb this corporation from harassing and trying to extort sweat equity, because there is no money, from the people. And that's what they're doing right now. They've got a system of constructive fraud. Their scope of authority was repealed. They changed the enacting clause on all the laws since 1911, so they claim to be the people of the state of California instead of represent the people of the state of California. A bunch of pompous asses. Okay, so we're gonna send them a thing called the quo warranto, asking them by what right are you even holding office and operating, by what authority are you operating your so-called crime syndicate. Okay?
That's what it is.
Because that's all it is. It's nothing but constructive fraud, and they've known about it. They can't say they didn't because it's public record. Okay? So they've done this intentionally, all right? So now we've stood up and said enough's enough. We're not going for it anymore, all right? They're trying to crash our economy. They're trying to do all kinds of stuff. Well, you know what? They can do that in their corporation, and if you're stuck in their corporation. But all of us people in the republic, check this out. You got a backyard, well, you start digging it up and planting a garden, because that way you can eat decent food. You don't have to rely on these idiots. And between the neighbors and stuff in a community, you can grow enough stuff to trade back and forth and have a nice little feast. You know what I mean? Mother Nature's kind of cool. Raise you some chickens, you know what I mean? Some rabbits, you know. get into your life, get into
Self-governance.
self-governance and self-sufficiency, okay? Because trying to rely on these idiots, you know, we all fail, all right? But if we rely on each other, if we come together like it used to be back in the day, all right, and we come together in unity and help each other, well then, you know what? We stand a whole lot better chance not only of making it, but of dealing with these fools.
Okay, so and now going back to some of the comments, someone asked, actually one of my dear friends, Tim, how would this government fund itself when there are no like income taxes and all this stuff? Like how would the government fund itself?
Well, look, all of the resources are ours, okay?
When you
All-
say resources, what is resources?
Resources, all of the minerals, all of the lumber, all
Water.
water,
Land,
all of it, all of that's ours. Okay, nobody gave these people any right.
meaning
Yes.
we the people.
Yeah, but I'm talking about nobody gave these idiots right here in this corporation any right to do anything with our resources. Everything they've done with our resources has been theft. Okay, through semantic deceit and fraud. All right, so I mean, these corporations have all kinds of assets, money, and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm for taking it back from what was stolen from us. That gives us a great big pile of that money, in actual resources. But not only that, if we create a different system of waterways through here and repair the dams so that we can store water, okay, and that way we can supply our farmers with all the water that they need. We have the breadbasket of the world right here.
In California.
And so
That's why they want California.
yeah, that's why they're trying to take it. So, if we clean up California, which, I mean, it's not that hard to do. Okay, they've been working at destroying everything. Okay, so we got a little bit of work to clean it up, but instead of destroying it, we need to take care of it because these are our resources. This is what is going to take care of us throughout whatever comes. All right, and so once it's back in the hands of the people, you take the people's need over some frickin' guppy in the ocean. I don't give a shit about the guppy. I care about the farmers being able to have enough water, and any environmentalists don't like it. Go out there with the fucking net and catch the guppies and move them somewhere else. All right?
Okay, so that's one way. So we take over the resources. Then what else is there? How does the government fund itself?
Well, the government funds itself on basically doing business, and I mean, we have things that are made in California.
Right, and so we are talking now about the California Republic, the Republic of we the people, right? So
Yeah,
we
we're
are
not
taking,
talking about corporations. We're talking about we the people. Okay, we create.
We
Okay,
create.
we are the creators.
Okay,
right?
so in the Republic, right? We all work with each other, and
Mhm.
everyone is enjoying the fruit of their labor.
No,
Okay.
in the republic it goes like this, right? All right. If you're out here working and they took your property, okay, and they gave you an APN number and
Which stands for Assessor's Parcel Number, APN, for
Yeah.
all of you homeowners.
So what you're doing is what they took is an assessor's map, which is an overlay over the actual surveyor's map, making a false claim to all of the property that it's theirs. Okay, they can't do that. So they've taken you from meets and bounds into real estate, and real estates can be taxed. So that's how you're being taxed for the service fees every year, and that's what it is service fees for you to be able to rent your own home from the corporation in which you filed it. Okay?
And for anyone who is not believing this, please go retrieve your deed, okay? And in your deed, you will find that you are a tenant. How can you be a homeowner and a tenant at the same time?
Well, real easy. There's a thing called droit and droit. It's a double right. So when it comes to property, you have to have the double right. The double right is the right of ownership and the right. They're just going to blatantly do it to you.
Okay, now they will legalize it. They will tell you in the open because that's what we've been living in. Okay, we own nothing. Anything that's registered with the state, the corporation, is theirs.
So
Including your marriage license is a contract with the state.
Yeah.
And anything it produces.
Yeah.
Including your children.
But not look. Let's get back to this Republic stuff. Okay?
Right. Because it's,
Look, I did this because nobody else would. Okay. And I don't know. I don't care if you really like it or not or whatever. It had to be done. Okay.
someone had to do it.
So I did this. Now what I need is your support, okay? Because I can do a little bit from here, all right? Mostly hold it open. I'm going to try to get the military to come in and straighten all this mess out because as acting governor of the de jure California state, I have the right under Article 4, Section 4 to demand that that the government come in here and send the military in to stop the domestic violence that's being perpetrated against the people of California by a rogue corporation that's giving aid and comfort to the enemy, helping in an invasion, and acting in sedition and treason. Okay, trying to destroy our heritage and everything about it. Okay, so none of us has lived under this republic because they stole it from us and tricked us out of it. Our ancestors out of it. Our ancestors fell asleep at the wheel because things were so good. Okay. And now they're turning the dial up. We're the frogs in the hot water that they're trying to boil, and the water's getting pretty hot, people. I can't do any more than what I've done for everybody. I love this country, and I love this state, all right? This state right here is the most beautiful and precious gift of God to us people, and we've basically spit in God's face with it, all right? And now we're about to lose everything, all right? So it's like, even all you gangbangers and homies out there, all right? This is the best country there is, all right? And now you've got people trying to take your territory away from you, okay? And don't think that you're not going to be the first people that they get rid of after they use you. Go look at all of the color revolutions, people. They've got all you useful idiots out here, all these cities and all this stuff waiting for your little orders and stuff, you know what I mean? Y'all know who I'm talking about. All the homies that was let out of prison early and all that shit. Yeah, go to work for these people and see what it gets you. It'll get you a knife in the back or, something rubbed with fentanyl. When you pick it up and drink it, it goes through your hand and kills you. These people don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, and one of the comments, Doug, was, well, how are you going to take care of the homeless and do this and that? Well,
let's see. Let's stop and look at something for a minute, okay? There's so much. There's so much to go around that, the homeless are being kept homeless on purpose because the government, the cities get a budget for the homeless. So the more homeless that they have, the more damn money that these people can steal, okay? And the more people go homeless. And then they set up this whole crap with this renter shit, all right? This is a setup so that now, as it comes into wintertime, there's going to be all these foreclosures and all of these people getting evicted, okay? Have you thought about that, okay? This is all a setup, people, okay? So if you want to ask me how I'm going to, help the homeless, how's the homeless going to help themselves once we get back into a republic?
And that's the whole point.
Because, there's a lot of people that are homeless that don't want to be homeless, okay? And there's a lot of opportunity out here. And there's a lot of vacant and abandoned land and homes, okay? So what we need to do is we need to take all of this real estate crap, okay, out. It don't exist anymore. And we go back to the original meets and bounds description, and everybody owns their land, not some real estate, okay?
Which is a piece of paper.
And you don't have to go to the corporation to get permits to do stuff on your property. If you build a frickin' house and it falls in and kills you, that's your tough luck. Okay, I don't give a shit. A permit ain't going to do anything other than, get somebody else to build something that'll fall in and kill you. You know what I mean?
And that's the whole point, right? So we are talking about a completely new concept of actually becoming, self-governed, and stepping into being responsible and accountable for our life, right, for our living, for our family, that we do not need some big daddy, big brother taking care of us, because that's what they condition people into, right, to become dependent on this corporation that will be just dialing it in, the heat up, right, so you become more and more dependent. Because let me tell you, my dear friends, okay, how communism arose in is, the middle class, the small business owners, that's the threat of communism, okay, because those are the people who actually are self-sufficient, they are independent, they provide job opportunities, right, and they are danger to the establishment. So what they've been doing through this whole pandemic, they've been going after the small businesses, the mom and pop shops, while Costco could be open, while Home Depot could be open, Walmart, and all these big corporations that are in cahoots with the corporate government, the state of California, the county of Orange, the county of Riverside, the county of San Diego, the county of Nevada, and so on and so on. Okay? You guys need to start seeing really what's going on and where they are taking this. Because as I said, in communism, you cannot own anything and you will be happy about it. This is Carl Schwab telling you right there.
Yeah, they're putting it in your face, people. Not only that, but I mean, come on, let's be real. They're trying to kill us. Okay, they want to depopulate the world by like 90%.
95%, right?
So,
and
this isn't a wait,
and they
this,
tell you straight up.
This isn't a game. I mean, they're not. That's not some conspiracy theory or anything like that. They're out to do us in, and I mean, they're a bunch of psychopaths. All right, and the bottom line is they rely on our compliance. They rely on our compliance to be able to pass their shit and do their shit. When everybody stands up and tells them, hey, check this out, man, we're done. We have a right to self-govern, and our government is now up and open for business, and we decided through our right of self-determination
who you are
to step over into what we're guaranteed and not what we're tricked into. Okay? Save all that trick willy for somebody that wants to, be taken care of, but see.
And want to be ward of the state. Let's be very clear.
No, but see, all that corporation crap, they're not going to be taking care of you too long. You ever watch that movie Soylent Green? They're going to turn you into dog food or whatever, fertilizer for the plants. Bill Gates got all kinds of plans for y'all. And I notice he's still out there walking around. So you guys, must not mind it. I ain't seen him myself. Would like to.
So there are some comments, Doug. One of the comment was here that the New World Order is here. It's takeover, and they have complete control over us. Sorry, I cannot see all the entire note, but that was kind of in that concept.
Well, if check it out, homeboy. The New World Order may be here for you, and it may have control over you, right? But it don't have control over me.
Nor
and
me.
if it comes knocking at my door, we're going to have a discussion that ain't going to be so polite, okay? The New World Order don't mean shit to me, homeboy.
Okay, guys, what we have to remember is what we allow, right? And when people wake up and they stand up into their power, and they realize that this is still America, okay, constitutional republic that was guaranteed to us by the framers, and that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land as declared in Article 6, Section 2, right? All we have to do is act on it, right? So the supreme law of the land supersedes any of their codes and statutes and anything they are trying to push on you. You have to remember that you are only doing that through obedience, through compliance. And when you say, I will not obey, I will not comply. I know my rights, and I know that these are public servants. Their game is over, and I don't care who they send here, who they are, because we know who we are. And we are now standing on the land on the California Republic.
Not only that, man, but check this out, people. There's a couple things I want to let you know. Number one, you're not going to get out of life alive. Number two, you ain't taking shit with you when you go except your knowledge and your heart. Okay? So, remember that. And I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Okay? So that New World Order don't mean nothing to me. Okay? And it shouldn't mean anything to you because you're an American. We have a Second Amendment. We have a right to organize a militia and defend ourselves. So if these people don't want to get right, well, then we get right. Okay? So, the bottom line is if we all stand up and tell these people to never mind, to leave us alone, let's just say, cease and desist. Right?
That's right.
That's
right. Because
we
we
are.
are.
That don't tread on me.
Okay, but I want to also make something very important point. Okay, we are peaceful. All right, we are peaceful, and actually, what we are doing is we are bringing peace back to America, because the war against the people, the Constitution, and the Republic has been going on for too long. All right, so let's be very clear about that. We are not violent, but we are aware of our rights. And we are, the peace was declared on this land.
Yeah, but you don't get it. You see, what they're taking from me is my heritage. My family helped settle California. My family's in the history books. So I've got a hereditary interest in seeing that California don't go under. Okay? The other thing is, okay, they've got everybody so scared but let me tell you what, man, I got God behind me. And that may sound funny to y'all, but, if I didn't, I'd already be missing in action, okay? All I'm trying to do is help everybody, okay? I'm sacrificing all of my stuff and putting myself in the spotlight with the target on me to be able to come forth and tell you people, man, look, you don't have to comply with this stuff, okay? You got a whole nother government over here that's ready and waiting to stand up. I've made a claim to the highest powers on all of these offices. That's how I'm able to take this office and operate it. I made a claim to the abandoned property. I have a hereditary interest in it. Okay, it's just like abandoned property.
And this is why we are also doing, you are doing the quo warranto, which we did a video on, because now we will be challenging this corporation, this other quasi-government, wannabe, pretending like to be government. Under which authority do they operate?
Well, no, they operate under the 1879 California Constitution as their scope of authority, all right? It's on the internet. So let me tell you what that means. Okay, this means that all these family courts, right, they're fraud. They don't exist. They don't lawfully exist. None of these superior courts in California, none of them lawfully exist. They're operating as banks, okay? They're defrauding you and they're securitizing. They're securitizing you and trading you, okay? And that can be proven, all right? So when you go and comply with all this crap, you just supply them with more money to use against us. And there isn't even any money, okay? It's just sweat equity, all right? So, I mean, let's get a school board, all that crap. No, they're all a bunch of communist pieces of shit, and they don't exist in the Republic, okay? There are certain things that exist in the Republic, all right? Go read the 1849 Constitution, and you'll see everything that exists in the Republic. If it's not in that Constitution, it does not exist in the Republic. Okay?
That's right. So, we will have to wrap up. And obviously, there is just so much to cover and discuss. So, we promise you, our wonderful, beautiful friends, that we will be coming online more often. We've been traveling a lot, working a lot. It's a non-stop. And by the way, we are not being paid for it, okay? But we are serving our country because, like we said, it's not our right, it's our duty, it's our obligation, right? So we are not doing this for any spotlight. We are not doing this to enrich ourselves. We are actually putting everything on the front line. And now this is a call for anyone who calls themselves the patriot to start doing the same thing, because we need to now populate all these vacant seats on all the counties across California. We already have some great counties who are learning how to stand up, how to take these seats, because we laid the grounds for you. All right, and now we have to take the action. So website will be coming up. Right now it's basically about educate yourself. Really, it's a mindset shift. Okay, so you might have to re-listen to some of this stuff like several times. Actually, Doug and I, we do many times when we need to unpuzzle something, we have to go over that information like 5 times, same thing. So we recommend keep replaying these videos, make it sink into your mind, because it's a mindset shift. Because one of the things I want to, just before we wrap up, these human engineers, okay, they are very aware of psychology. They are very aware of neuroscience, how basically your brain works. And wouldn't that be just wonderful if they use all this knowledge, all this ancient knowing, and basically make you to imprison yourself? And that's what has happened through all the brainwashing, indoctrination. So you literally have to, it's like rebirthing ourselves and stepping into the power that we are all equal, we are all endowed by our Creator, and we need to start learning who we truly are, that we, the people, are the authority, right? And we have this beautiful republic ready and open for business. So I'm going to finish on that note. Do you have any closing note you want to mention, Doug? Until
Really.
next time? I think we've covered a lot. I know that we can keep going on. We will be posting this on other platforms, and just let people know, let people know that California Republic is open for business, and we would love to have you there with us. Sending much love and light.